This is ARK, a Viking-based map with tons of challenges and rewards. My goal is to beat this mythical map with nothing but shoulder pets. Bright and early on day 1, I spawn in the frigid cold beach of Vardaland, scratched my big hunky chunky arm, looked around some more, and looked up at a ginormous tree. Saw a megalodon going absolutely crazy, and picked up a few sticks, pebbles, and some thatch. I would use these resources to make tools, so I can harvest rocks and trees without hurting myself. Alright, I'm just gonna craft up the basics. I'm getting levels pretty fast. Found a shipwreck and gathered some tools, and got chased out by Carno. Oh, wow. Okay, that's great. I mean, what do I expect from the redwoods? Hold on. Okay. I was plotting my revenge against it, but realized I could not kill a Carno yet, so I took my anger out on this dodo. And apparently, these raptors did not like that I killed their friend. That could have ended very badly. I mean, I'm freezing to death. But whatever it is, they were angry. That's 1. So they magically disappeared. That's 2. Had nothing to do with me. While it was turning night, I found a rune. Placed down a few foundations. Alright, I gotta get this thing up. Is that a pego? What is this? Oh, it is actually. And tamed up some pegos. Let's go. We already got 2 pegos already. Dude! Yes! Get Bola, bot. I found a seagull. Attempted to tame it with a club. Bruh! But I spent so long. I guess I'm just too strong. Crafted up a few forges. Yes, sir. Gathered some wood. Alrighty. Make an interesting shaped house. Yo, this is the ultimate house. Hold on. This looks a little weird. That's fine. And I would spend the next 5 hours trying to put all the forges together so I can access all of them. Because my house it wasn't the biggest, but it had a good personality. There is. I can't drink it. The scorpion had some beef against me. I guess something to do with my first 100-day video. I don't know, whatever it is, it was angry at me. I mean, everything is angry at me. Yeah, I'm gonna get knocked out. Oh my god. I got hit a few times by the scorpion and it knocked me out. But these dragonflies saw what I did and they ganged up on me. No, my pego! No! Well, on day 2 I already died. Oh! My pego mastics. No. A little bit further into the redwoods. That's actually a good level. I was at the otter sanctuary. Found a dimorphodon. It wasn't the highest level, but these would be very, very helpful in the future. I only have 1 left and it's not even that high level. It only took a few tranks to the head to knock it out. Yes. Boom! A level 100 dimorphodon would be very, very helpful for me since it's so early on into the game. Oh yeah. And what do you know? I died once again to an RG this time. I can... No way. I'm in the water. Run! Yes, sir. I gathered up some more resources such as fiber, thatch, and wood. I should get like a... I put them into the forge so I can cook some metal. I would use this to make a smithy, armor, and some other useful tools. All I need is some metal now. I don't really have anything, but it's fine. I won't have to worry about saddles because there are no saddles for any of the pets, except for hyenodons. I know they're not a shoulder pet, but they're small enough, and I'm going to include them into the list, only if I really need to use them. I teleported around a little bit, trying to find my base location. It is? Oh, nope, it is not, but... Specifically near metal, wood, and rocks. A bug buff Megatherium. This is not where I need to be. I need to be in the redwoods. Third time's the charm. I decided going back to the redwoods and trying to find an otter. If you don't know, you can put helmets on otters, and helmets can get really, really good armor. But one problem, armor can break, unlike saddles. So it's a trade offer from really high armor rather than low armor for a saddle, but helmets can break. So I'm gonna have to find something that's really good durability and really good armor. If I manage to find these, my otter army will be unstoppable. I found a pretty high level compy, and this is the first time I've actually tamed one of these. I would never have known a compy would have so much torpor. I shot like 4 trank arrows into its head, and it's still not out. Fine. What does it want? Like chitin? I already have raw meat. It took me a while searching it up. They only eat prime meat to tame them. Okay, I just looked this up, and they need prime meat. I found a Diplodocus.
Like, there's a Diplodocus! Oh my god!
And sent my newly tamed Dimorphodon to kill it. And it was not the best. 81 damage, and it just played around in circles. I had to knock it out again since the torpor ran out so quickly, but once I had prime meat, it tamed up. I found another high-level Dimorphodon. Bowled it out of the air. I mean, I'm just so good at this game. Okay, we gotta talk about how I just bowled it out of midair. First try. It wasn't first try. Knocked it out within a few headshots. And once it was tamed, I headed back to base. Alright, I'm getting flak armor already. This is saying something. Alright. I need a breeding pair, so I might need another one. I have no idea why I'm saying this, but please subscribe. I'm already out of trank arrows, too. Ran back to the redwoods to find some more Dimorphodons. This time I found a high-level female, so I can breed them. What level? Okay, that's not terrible. I'm gonna try to find a better one, but if this is the best thing we've got, then that's fine. That's that. And then, yeah, get him. Get him! I found a much higher level one. This should be very well. 59 damage. Oh, great, now there's 2 of them. And I'm running out of trank arrows. I should have brought more. Am I gonna die? I'm already like half health. Okay, this is not going well. I've shot nearly all my trank arrows into it, and it's still not out. How long is this gonna take? Dude. Oh, that's a Thylacoleo. No, thank you. I completely forgot it. I'm gonna die. Holy crap. Why is there a Thylacoleo? After just nearly escaping something just straight out of my nightmares, I finally have a breeding pair of my Dimorphodons. This means I can breed them and get a baby with crazy stats. But one problem, the female that I tamed up, it was not very high level, so the baby's gonna come out a little bit lower level than I would want it to be, but that's fine. That's that. That was pretty quick. Only on day 5, I already have a breeding pair, and I got triplets.
That's triplets!
I don't know where this luck came from, but I guess the ARK gods saw me getting attacked by that demonic Thylacoleo. That was scary. I'm still traumatized to this day. Eat, my boy. Eat. You gotta be full health for... Oh, that's all 200. I hashed up some more Dimorphodons. That's not terrible. It's a little bit. And I set out with the 2 imprinted ones that I had. 145. In order to find a high-level female. Oh, there's 2 of them. The reason I'm taming another one of these females is because the one I have isn't very high level.
Alright,
So if I have a much higher level one, that means
better babies. That's 5. Oh.
And I wandered into some pretty dangerous waters, and I was pretty scared.
Oh my god.
I started walking up this ginormous mountain because I know that there's a lot of metal and crystal up here, which is something that I need pretty badly.
Hey, here's the crystal. We're trying to find this for a
And to
while.
my surprise, there was metal. I mean, that wasn't really surprised. I would be surprised if there wasn't any.
There's like 300 metal for. Now I got a wood. This might not be enough for all of it.
Put the metal into the forges. Put some wood into it. I set out on another adventure, and I got attacked by a terror bird.
That was very kind. Oh, it was a little birdie.
Wandered into another pack of raptors.
My only hope right now is my dimorphodons. Then this random bird that's flying around me. Kills? What is it, level 90? It was only level...
If you guys don't know why I'm making this cementing paste, you will find out. And it is not to make a wooden wall. Oh my god. And after a long while on day 7, I crafted up a fabricator. Went to a red drop, and oh my god, Ascendant Logneck Rifle. I mean, if you play ARK at all, you will know this is probably the best thing you can get. I wandered over to a yellow drop hoping I would get something crazy like at the last drop, and I got absolutely garbage loot. And if you don't know, on ARK Fjordur, there's aberration caves. There's one on Asgard, which is another one of the dimensions you can travel to, and one on the main map. And in this cave, there are supply drops which you can get absolutely incredible loot from.
Yep.
But when I entered, there were none.
These little things are not fun, but
Ravengers,
I know ways to deal with them.
which are pretty annoying.
What is it called? Bolas?
Ravengers are from the aberration map, which makes sense, they're in the aberration cave. But the worst part about them, they deal bleed damage, and that's not good. Because I think bleeding is bad or something. I don't know. I haven't touched grass in 14 months. Inside of the cave, there's a few rune stones, or runes, or whatever the red thingies. And if you collect them, they give you an XP boost, which is pretty epic.
Jesus. Oh, there's 2 Perlovias? How great.
And after wandering around a little bit, one of the red drops actually spawned in and got pretty bad loot.
What the hell, boy?
I mean, it was good loot, but I can't use it because shoulder pets and all. And Karkinos actually spawned in this cave too, but this one, I think it was missing a few chromosomes or something because it was tweaking. I sent in my army to attack it, and it didn't really stand much of a chance. Oh, there it goes. And I totally forgot, these things drop a whole bunch of polymer. Don't know, polymer is very, very important into the mid and late game. In one of the drops, I got a crazy helmet. One of my Dimorphodons had a whole bunch of stuff in its inventory, and that means it was overweighted, so it could not move, so it was just stuck in the air. I thought it was a glitch or something, but good thing it wasn't. Oh, you're just overweighted. I thought it was a glitch or something, like the following wasn't working, or like the AI something. I don't know. ARK is glitchy, and glitchy is ARK. I got the crazy helmet I got onto my otter, and it looked a little funky.
Boy, what the hell, boy? What is this?
Once I got back to base, I crafted up some more stuff. I hatched a Dimorphodon egg. And it was actually really high level. But
217. Oh my god. I have really high hopes for this thing. This thing can be... I'm gonna need some of these. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna be pretty mad.
With my new and improved Dimorphodon army, I traveled to the Arctic area. Something exclusive to Genesis Part 1 are Feroxes. But not anymore. They're on Fjordur, which is pretty awesome, and I just learned about this like last week.
Whoa, what is this thing doing here? Oh, not
There's a
anymore.
special cave on one of the sides of the mountains in the Arctic, but it's kind of hard to get to, and since I don't have any flyers or anything to get to it, I have to be creative. There was a Uterantis that started attacking me, and I put my new crazy long neck rifle to use, and I was not expecting it to deal 1,400 damage, let alone what Tranks will do. I'm genuinely scared. I'm pretty sure it will just kill whatever I'm trying to knock out, because of how much damage it will deal. But on a server I used to play on a while ago with my friends, one of my friends actually told me that you can knock out tame Feroxes. I looked up a few videos, and they use a long neck rifle and a shocking trank dart, and it surprisingly knocked out the Ferox. Feed it Mejo berries, and you can tame it. And since I do not have element, I wanted to give it a go. And when I wandered into the cave, there were polar bears, which are dire bears, but white or gray. And Feroxes came wandering up to me, and they're level 200. And a level 290. You know, just the... Oh, never mind. Well, I guess I have a level 200 then. All I have to do is bowl it and knock it out. Which I'd say is that's a steal. I have my Mejo berries ready. Put the trank dart in. Loaded it up. And it didn't knock out immediately. That's fine because it's at level 200. I mean, I must have a lot of torpor. Just give it one more And further into the cave, there were dire wolves, a lot of them, and they were high level. And my dart, oh, there goes another Ferox. And one thing, my Dimorphodons were not the highest level, and they weren't really leveled up that well, so they could easily get killed by these high level dire wolves. Good thing I brought a whole bunch of bolas, because dire wolves can be bola'd, which means they can't move. And apparently, it didn't work on this one for some reason. And yeah, you saw that. 160 damage from the polar bears. That's going to be a huge problem, because Dimorphodons, you can't put helmets on them. I left the cave because I looked up, it only works on PlayStation. I have no idea why, but if you don't know, I'm on Xbox, so it doesn't work for me. One of the problems is, to craft element, it is so expensive. You need, I don't know, was it batteries? You need like metal and some weird stuff. I don't know, it's so expensive. And one of the things you can do on Genesis Part 1 is 100 element shards gives you one element. I thought it was only fair to harvest the element shards, spawn in one element, and then get rid of the element shards. And if you have a problem with it, feel free to like and subscribe. After I farmed up a whole bunch of element shards and generously spawned in 100,000 elements, spawned in all the element that I could afford with my element shards, and made my way back into the Ferox cave. And in this cave, there were some pretty high levels. Just like this level 290 Ferox. And for some reason, I had no idea how to feed them. I think I was pressing Y, like you would go behind an Equus or something, and you would press Y to feed it. But in this case, you would put it in your last slot, and you would press it into your last slot to feed it. I did not know this until, like, last second. And once I figured that out, it was all uphill from here. I have no idea why I brought my Dimorphodons with me, because this kind of made a pain. I had to whistle them on passive, make them follow me, and they just kind of got in the way, but, I mean, I guess it was better to have them than be dead. After a few, well, not really a few, it was more like 2. Yeah, it's 2 a few. After a few days, my Ferox finally tamed up. Put a helmet onto it, and it looked pretty goofy. I don't know why. It just looks cursed. After taming up such a high-level Ferox, I felt like this challenge was actually possible. You might be wondering, why am I just going through everything I own? Well, I'm actually trying to find all the resources required for a mining drill. The mining drill is, I guess it shoots like a laser beam or something, and it harvests a lot of resources very, very well and very efficiently. And not only that, it gives you insane weight reduction. It's almost like an Anki Argentavis, like all the weight reduction on almost everything in your hand. It's crazy. But one problem, it's pretty expensive, and one of the things it needs is black pearls, which is pretty hard to find. Probably the only way you can get black pearls this early on in the game is trilobites, and even that they're pretty hard to find. I only found a few, and this only gave me a couple black pearls, so I had to venture out again. And while traveling through the waters, I found an omnimite or ammonite, whatever this weird squid thing in a shell is, and they drop black pearls, and they're kind of tanky. Since you can see the damage reduction it's taking, it should do about 1.4k damage, but in this case it's only taking about 280 damage. So this took a little while, but I eventually killed it and got a whole bunch of black pearls. Just enough to craft the mining drill. And while traversing through these treacherous waters, a whole bunch of mantas just came up behind me and absolutely wrecked through all of my armor. And I almost died from it. Good thing, they didn't chase me for long, and I got to shore very quickly. With my past luck of drops, I had high hopes for this. But, no. I mean, just no. Somehow I sniped this trilobite through the water. I couldn't even see it. I guess it was just luck. Or my insane skill. It's that 100%. Even though I didn't really need any black pearls, it's always nice to have them. Apparently there's a whole bunch of trilobites in this one area, so I just wiped out their entire existence. I haven't found a single trilobite since then. On the early morning of day 14 through 15, I made my way back into the aberration cave. And there were Ravagers, a whole pack of them, just waiting for me. Good thing I brought my long neck rifle, and I managed to pick them off one by one. Once I got the crystal and resources that I needed, I just teleported back to base after that. Now that I had all the crystal and all the resources I needed, I could finally craft the mining drill. I know it's just a bunch of pixels on a screen, but still, it's pretty epic. Now that I have a mining drill, it can harvest element shards really, really efficiently. And that means I can get more element shards per rock, I can get element shards faster, and I can get element shards more epicer. I made my way deeper into the aberration cave, and there was a 140 Megalosaurus just waiting for me, and it did not end well. Yeah, you saw that. 140, that's almost max level. And my bad luck continued with another Megalosaurus, and I did not kill it in one shot, so I got PTSD from it. And while I was trying to get another drop, there was another pack of Ravagers that tried to kill me.
Tom Holland, man, what the fuck? Man, I don't want to talk your bitch.
Now that I'm back at base, with all the element shards I just turned into element, I fed the element to my Ferox, which is not a good idea since, like, the whole Rockwell thing, but apparently Feroxes have intestinal tracts made of, like, uranium, I don't even know. I took my Ferox maxed out with steroids to the aberration cave to get some drops, and they still haven't spawned in yet. So I just made my way back to base, made some cementing paste, and I wanted to craft some grappling hooks. I was going to make my way back into the Ferox cave so I can have a breeding pair of them, because that's awesome. Now, the real reason I wanted this was breeding just increases all the stats, and it would also make my Ferox faster since of the settings I have in my single player world. Yeah, this thing does just too much damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use Feroxes in boss fights. I'm going to use the Ferox as a mount, but I'm going to try to not attack with the Ferox because the damage is just ridiculous. I'm going to limit myself to only shoulder pets, and if I really have to, Hyenodons, but realistically, I'm not going to use an army of Feroxes. That's just a no-go. Since the green orb was really close to the bug cave, I just took some resources, made some cryopods. So I can just travel with all my shoulder pets a lot easier, because some teleportation areas are pretty hard, like this cliff area. If you brought like bulb dogs or, I don't know, penguins or something, it would not go well. Now that I have my grappling hooks, element, and past experiences, this should be a breeze. I found a high level Ferox. This took a long time since it was such a high level. All I had to do was speed it, grapple to the wall, and just wait, and there you have it. A tamed Ferox. That was quite easy. Now that I have this Ferox, I can finally breed them. But one issue, in order to breed them, the female has to be max addiction, which can take a lot of element. After gathering some more element shards and farming some more drops, I got a godly Ascendant pump shotgun. This is probably one of the two best things you can get. A good long neck rifle and a good pump shotgun. I traveled to the Asgard dimension and just checked things out, and it was pretty awesome. The scenery was incredible, and there were RGs swimming underwater. I've never seen that before. And a whole bunch of Shadowbanes ran up to me, and I guess they wanted money or something, but they didn't get it. Now I wanted to check out the volcano area to get some more element, because there are much better ways. There are these element ores, crystals, and you can harvest them and they give you a lot more element shards, so this will be perfect.
Oh, that's a Gigantosaurus.
They look exactly, I'm pretty sure they're the same design as the red gem crystals. I've mistaken them a few times in the Aberration Cave, but sadly they're not element shards, they're just red gems. I killed an Alpha Carno for some levels.
Yeah. Okay. I might have to lower the melee damage a little bit. That's just stupid. Oh, it is a rune.
A Uterantus and its army of Carnos tried to attack me, but good thing my Ferox was on neutral.
What did I just come back to?
When I was just traveling around, a yellow drop just dropped down. I checked it, and that is the only thing I really need in this run. A good helmet blueprint. Now that I have more tames than ever in an ever-growing Dimorphodon army, I had to move out of this small little beach hut. So I gathered all my tames, and I wanted to move to Asgard because the scenery is just incredible. It's not too cold, it's not too hot, and I found this perfect base location with flat ground, right next to water, trees, rocks, everything you can ask for. I built this little circle platform exactly where you spawn in, where you set the checkpoint for it. And if you're wondering where this is, it is Asgard Northeast. I went back to my old beach hut to gather all the stuff that I left there, and it was a lot because I was encumbered even with the mining drill active. So that's saying something. I set up my new base made of wood, placed down a smithy, I put in all the resources I need, I put in crystal, gunpowder, all that good stuff into the smithy. I then made all the kite and helmets that I got from that yellow drop, and they turned out absolutely incredible. The durability is great, the armor is great, just overall, it was perfect. Now that I have a whole bunch of helmets, I need something to put these helmets on, which I'll come back to that later. And a teleport really close nearby, there was a whole bunch of metal. Use my mining drill because I'm pretty low on metal. And with all the stuff that I got from my old base, I needed storage really badly. Good thing I was still really early on building in my base, so I can easily just place down some storage without worrying too much about space. And in the middle, when you would teleport, you would kind of glitch into the foundation. So I set up this cool staircase thing, and it looks interesting. A cool little hexagon shape. I think it turned out not too bad. I set out to find some otters. I found this decently high level otter, tamed it up. Now if I get another otter of the opposite gender, I can breed them, and I can put my helmets on them. I really hope this works out, because if this doesn't, I'm gonna have to resort into hyenodons, which I don't really want to do, but if it's necessary, then that's fine. I got together the two best Dimorphodons and bred them. I set out, got another otter, and bred them too. Set out and try to find some good wild dinos to get some levels for them. Although that was pretty epic with all the doom music behind it, they didn't deal a lot of damage. I was expecting a lot from high-level imprinted otters, dealing more than 60 base damage. I was expecting maybe 100 at least, but maybe I just need some mutations, more levels, and just some more time put into them. In the Asgard area, there's this aberration biome, and I set out, tamed a Bulbdog, and a Glowtail. Both of these you can put helmets on, and that is fantastic, but something I wouldn't realize until a lot later, you can't pump melee damage into them. The melee damage is taken up by their light source, which is used to ward off Nameless, which are these demonic monkey thingies. They're scary. Now that I have a high-level breeding pair, I bred them together, set out, got some more crystal, and out came out a little baby Bulbdog. I got some imprinting for it, set up a glass ceiling so I can see the mountain right next to my base. With the gunpowder I transferred from my old base, I made some shotgun bullets to go with my brand new Ascendant pump shotgun. I took my imprinted Ferox filled with steroids to the Arctic biome. Found some penguins, and you already know what happened to that one. I tried to knock it out, but my long neck rifle is just too powerful. You can knock out juveniles or baby penguins, but it's a lot harder if you don't have shocking trank darts. So I resorted to the adult ones, found two perfect level ones, both 145, and I tamed them up. Now that I have both of them tamed, I can breed them, put helmets on them, level them up, and hopefully they will deal lots of damage, be tanky, and work in the boss fight. I'll have to test these out with world bosses just to see how good they'll be. Or how bad they'll be. I hatched a little baby penguin, and the health was really good on it for not being imprinted. So I had high hopes for the penguins. Now that I had my tiny army of Dimorphodons, otters, penguins, and Bulbdogs, I wanted to see how powerful they really were. They gave it their best fighting this Bronto, but the Bulbdogs, they were just getting whacked away, and even if they did, they dealt 15 damage, so it wasn't very good. The penguins put up their best effort, but I don't think they really even hit the Stego even once. Even if they did, it would probably, I think it was like 15 or 20 damage. In this case, the otters were my best bet. They were small, they were fast, and they dealt the most amount of damage. Now with a few leveled up shoulder pets, I took them over to the Bela boss fight, and this will put their true strength to the test. I put the helmets on the Bulbdogs and the penguins, had my Dimorphodons ready. As Bela spawned in, this is when I realized I should have brought more. The Dimorphodons deal very good damage, But since you can't put helmets on them, they take full damage. In this case, it was 180 damage a hit from Bela. The Dimorphodons didn't last too long, maybe about half health. So once both Dimorphodons died, I really had to use my pump shotgun in this case. If Bela was in the air, the penguins and the bulb dogs were just on the ground doing nothing. And even if Bela was on the ground, they weren't dealing a lot of damage. So this took a long time of just back and forth. Shotgun, penguins, bulb dogs. But eventually, they took it down. With some element and some pretty bad loot, I teleported back to base and I got stuck. I wanted to harvest wood some more because the mining drill harvests thatch if you tried mining trees, so I made a chainsaw. I was just traveling around and I found this Maywing in a tree. I have no idea how I spotted that. It blended in pretty well. It was quite interesting. I'm back in the Ferox cave because I was trying to find a lower level Ferox. I wanted a Ferox that wasn't level 500. Maybe when it's imprinted, maybe around level 200, 250. Maybe like a normal level Ferox. In this case, I should not have brought my Dimorphodons because the polar bears were ready, and with their stupid 555 damage, my Dimorphodons died within 4 hits. One of them managed to survive, I think around 200 health. So one more hit, it would have died. But I found a good level Ferox. It was level 180, I think. Yeah, I believe it was level 180 Ferox. And also I found a low level female. It was around level 20. That may sound horrible, but once a level 270 breeds with like a level 50, it will even out to be around level 200, which is exactly what I want. I want something powerful, but not overpowered where it's dealing 2,000 damage a hit. But when it's at full addiction, it might deal around 1,500 damage, which is crazy. Once I tamed up the Feroxes, I held them hostage for the rest of their lives. And that's my choice, and there's nothing you can do about it. And later that night, these crazy lights, I think they're called the Northern Lights, they appeared in the night sky, and they were awesome. Now with both the Feroxes that I just tamed, I started to breed them together. This took a while for the gestation period, and for them just to breed in general, and while that was happening, I teleported to the Aberration Cave. I got some element shards, and once I got that, I teleported back to Asgard. And while I teleported back, I found an Alpha Rex. And now this damage is a lot more reasonable. 776 damage is perfect. Anything more than that might be a bit iffy, but right there is exactly what I want. And not only did killing this Alpha Rex give me a whole bunch of levels and XP, but it also gave me a trophy that I can hang up on my wall, and it looks pretty cool. And through most of the evening and night, I looked around for tech dinos because they drop scrap metal, oil, some other stuff, but most importantly, electronics. You can craft these in your fabricator, but you need silica pearls and metal, which can get pretty pricey over time. And since I made a chainsaw earlier, I used it to harvest the corpse of the tech dino, and I got plenty of electronics from it. And not only that, right next to it, there was some beavers, which I permanently borrowed their cementing paste, and they were fine with it. I definitely did not kill them. And all I needed was a little bit more polymer, which this penguin said that I could borrow his, so that worked out. Once I placed down the chemistry bench and the generator, I started to craft some gunpowder, and I made an egg incubator, which I can hatch all of my Dimorphodon eggs. And somehow I got a mutation. If you can't see it, the skin is more pale, and instead of the orange, it's like a deep, dark red purple color, and it was actually a melee mutation. You can see how the other ones are all dealing 199 damage, but this one, with the mutation, was dealing 205 damage. So that means it's a melee mutation. I would have really liked to get health mutation because they don't really have the highest health. I'm gonna name him Jimmy. But that didn't stop me. So I went to the tree dimension and started to level them up. And once I made my way back to base, I hatched some more Dimorphodons, imprinted them, and I also bred the mutated one to get more mutated ones, to get more mutated ones. I don't even know if that made any sense. But basically, I bred them to get more better Dimorphodons. And since I had so many of them, they ate through all the food instantly. And you can see how fast all the food drains. Since I was preparing for a fight later on, I was kind of low on shotgun bullets. I crafted some more up, sent in my cloud of Dimorphodons to see how quickly they can delete Brontos. That sounded horrible, but basically what I did. And sometimes they did it under a second. I didn't time it, I'm just like estimating pretty fast. And later that night, you won't believe what I did. You're right. I imprinted more Dimorphodons. And since I was getting tired of baby raising, I went to the Aberration Cave to get some element shards. Because I needed my Feroxes. Because I was fighting Hades and Skull, which is one of the world bosses? World bosses. I'm just going to call them world bosses. You need 30 runestone to summon them in. And there's two of them, Hades and Skull. One of them has really low health that breathes fire, and the other one has higher health that spawns in mini Fenrirs. And through most of the battle, my Ferox wasn't attacking anything, or my other Ferox wasn't attacking anything, so I had to swap over to the other one mid-fight, and that worked out well. And a little while later, Haiti was defeated. Both of my Feroxes actually made it past half their health, which was very surprising to me, because they both had well over 20,000 health. I got decent loot from Haiti, but I didn't get anything from Skull. And for the next few days, trying to find and kill alphas. And while I was traveling through Asgard, I swear I saw a name tag while running around, and I took a clip of it and slowed it down, and apparently there was an otter in the middle of nowhere. And on a completely unrelated note, I went to the bug cave. Arctic to get even more polymer so I can get C4, because I was preparing for the Steinbjorn fight. In my opinion, this is the hardest boss in Fjordur, because this guy has 300,000 health, takes reduced damage, and he deals a lot, and summons in overpowered minions. So you can see why this was incredibly difficult and why it took so long, because this is what I was doing for 14 hours. I ran out of rockets. I had to result in my Ferox's rock throw ability, which only dealt about 300 damage to him and had about a 15-second cooldown, so it took a while. And after a long 14 generations later, Steinbjorn had been defeated. And he dropped some pretty good loot, including a decent mining drill. And most of the bosses throughout this run will have over 300,000 health or close to it. And if it took me that long with my high level Ferox, I'm probably going to need to choose the safer option. So I set out trying to find some Hyenodons. But obviously, I'm going to also try it with otters. After I found a very high level female Hyenodon and also a male Hyenodon, I had a plan. I found a really good Hyenodon saddle blueprint, which had about 50, a little bit more than 50 armor. And while I set up my teleport, my Ferox, it ran out of timer for its element and it started to shrink back into its normal size. And I managed to get onto it just in time, so I shrunk down with it and it looked pretty funny. Now that I have both a male and female hyaenodons that were both really high level, I bred them together and I managed to get twins on the first try. Now that I bred a female and a male hyaenodon, I can now breed both of the imprinted hyaenodons. And if I do this on and on, I will eventually get some mutations and some really high levels. Now that I have a little mini army, I wanted to see how good they were, and this Bronto was my test subject. And already, some of them were dealing up to 350 damage, and obviously it's a little bit leveled up. And there's always that one tame that just deals an absurd amount of damage over the other ones. And if you're wondering why they're dealing so much more damage, they have this little pet thing where if you pet them, it gives you like a damage booster. And you already know, I just started to spam that. So that's why they're dealing so much damage. But normally, base damage, it's only around 300 to 450 damage. I shouldn't say only because that's like a stupid amount, but single player settings. And a little bit further into the bug cave, there's a lot of high level creatures, so they gave me a lot of XP for the hyaenodons. And later that day, I actually got a mutation. It was a very slight health mutation, and it gave it a really cool red color. Because my hyaenodon army was just getting bigger and bigger, I needed more saddles, which means more metal. And I basically went through all of it, so I needed some more. So I made about 12 or 16 forges, put them on my roof, went out and got a whole bunch of metal. A lot of wood. And just sat around the whole day. And since I was pretty low on not only metal, I set out to the Arctic to get more polymer. And soon enough, I found some penguins. And they were more than willing to give me their polymer. So kind of them. And for some reason, I got some red gems because I thought that would be useful, but I never use them, like in the entire 100 days. And now that I have enough metal, polymer, and resources, I made an industrial forge pretty late into the challenge because on my previous 100-day video challenges, I made a tech replicator by at least day 50, and it's just a little bit before day 50, and I just got down an industrial forge. So, resources are a little bit slow, but I'm not really focusing on that too much because I have a lot of stuff to do. And one of them is getting the artifacts for the next boss fight. And this was in another swamp cave, but this one I took damage like the one on the island. I got the normal scuba gear and the ghillie armor, but I was still taking damage, but it's only about 2 ticks per second, or a few seconds, so I just speed ran through it. you already know the artifact didn't spawn in. Inside the other artifact cave, a lot of overpowered and overleveled bugs spawn here. And going into one of the many underwater artifact caves, but this one was by far the hardest because alphas spawn here, the jellyfish thingies that dismount you were in here, and sometimes I believe alpha mosasaurs can spawn in here, so it was pretty scary because my Ferox had limited oxygen because it's not meant to go underwater and fight like this. I promise the next 100 days the settings aren't going to be like this. Here's the clip of me getting the artifact in the swamp cave. Now that I have all the requirements to spawn in the boss, I gathered up all my hyenodons, teleported to the aberration cave, and I prepared my hyenodons for the fight. The monkey fight is known for being super easy, but this fight was especially really easy because, you know, I kind of used my Ferox a little bit too much. After the monkey fight, I needed a little bit more rune stones so I can fight Bela. So I went around the map, killing some alphas, and getting a few levels on the way. The main reason I wanted to fight Bela so badly was so you guys don't get bored. So here's my army of Dimorphodons that I've been slowly building up for the past 50 days or so. And not too much later, Bela was dead. I mean, that's a simple way to put it. They simply just shredded through Bela's 180,000 health pool, and while I was just going back home to see what the wave of Dimorphodons looked like, it looked like something out of Dark Souls. It was terrifying. Now that I had the monkey fight out of the way, I had to get the artifacts for the next fight, the Broodmother. And one of these was yet another underwater cave. But this one, in my opinion, was pretty difficult because it's a labyrinth. You have to solve these puzzles, you have to jump over traps and spikes that come out of the ground. But if you ran to them with really good armor, it wouldn't really do too much. And obviously, I memorized this, so I definitely did not use any tutorial for this whatsoever.
Green button. Then click the purple button. Click the yellow button. And finally the blue button. And that wall should open up.
After the secret door opened, I got the rune and the artifact of the Massive. In fact, it was in one of the caves in the Arctic, and there was a lot of snakes and Megalosaurus, and I'm not on good terms with Megalosaurus. And of course, another one of the artifacts is in the lava cave. And perfect timing for my controller to randomly shut off. For some reason, it just randomly shuts off on me. Soon enough, I got the artifact. And now that I have all 3 artifacts required to fight the Broodmother, I gathered up all my Hyaenodons, led them into the boss arena, I put all the artifacts into the terminal. Now we're fighting the Broodmother. After narrowly escaping the poison thingies that the Broodmother shoots out, most of my armor was broken, so I had to repair it. But before that, I had some flags to set up. All I had was a dragon and the Fenrir flag. And while just running around Asgard, I found an Alpha X, but I did not bring my spyglass with me for some reason, so I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And after a long 10-15 minute battle with this Alpha X, I soon figured out it was a 135, which explained why it took nearly half my health and took so long. I wanted to fight Hadean's Skull so you guys can enjoy some more fights. After many explosions and a lot of dead Fenrirs later, Hadean's Skull were defeated. In yet another underwater artifact cave, this one was going to be pretty challenging. After entering this gold statued Viking lava room, I wish I could build a base here because this place just looks awesome. For the next artifact, it was going to be on the easier side. The only thing that I had to look out for was really over-leveled Onyx, Titanoboas, bugs in general. Besides that, I had really nothing to worry about. It was just this big open cave, and you would just walk in on this giant path, and you would just snatch the artifact. And for the second to last artifact was in this ice cave, and there was a lot of Purlovias, which would jump scare you. I was running a little bit low on bullets, so I crafted up some more gunpowder, set out to get the artifact of the strong, which was conveniently in the bug cave that I've previously went in there before and easily cleared it out. Now that I have all the artifacts, the relics, and all of my Hyenodons ready, well, apparently I was missing one artifact. Now that we have all the artifacts, the relics, and all of the Hyenodons, it's time for the dragon fight. This took quite a long time, but luckily I only lost about 2 Hyenodons. I also took a screenshot. And when I got back home, I bred up 2 more for the 2 that I lost. And not only that, I set up the dragon flag because it looks cool. And not only that, it's time to do a building montage.
Wait, are you ready?
Yep.
Can we start?
Yeah, you can go.
Alright, here goes nothing.
And a few days later, I built a castle. Because you cannot play Fjordur without building a castle. I'm pretty sure it's in the terms and service when you download ARK. And not only would I use this castle just because it's awesome, but it would be my new breeding center for all of my otters. Since where I have all of my otters right now, it's getting kind of cramped and pretty messy. So I wanted to build a separate area so it's more organized and contained from all the little critters trying to kill them. And not only that, I built up a ginormous wall surrounding my base. This took quite a long time and a lot of resources, but it paid off. And since I have a lot of under-leveled creatures that I don't want anymore, and I just threw them into the lake, I needed to dispose of them. So what I did, trapped a pig, or Andrewsarchus, into a cage, led all the little critters, I should say, into the trap, and I would let the Andrewsarchus do its work. And since I lost a few Hynodons in the boss battles, I needed some saddles for the new ones that I just bred up. So in that case, I need metal to set out to the mountains to get some more metal. But it's kind of dangerous there. Apparently, there's mantises and shadow manes, and not only that, I saved Thanos Turtle. And this Gallimimus was trespassing on my property, so I disposed of him. And I was running a little low on cementing paste. And one of the main ingredients for making cementing paste is chitin. And the best way to get chitin on Fjordur is the bug cave. And it does a great job of getting me a few stacks of chitin. And if you guys like baby otters, well, you came to the right spot. Because here, I'm pretty sure it's 10 baby otters that I'm imprinting. But this Hynodons did not like baby otters, so I disposed of them as well. Now that the baby otters have grown up into adults, I put helmets on all of them, took them out to see how powerful and strong they really are.
Look at this, this looks so weird. I don't know if this is a glitch or something, but pretty funny. Yeah, is that a Gallimimus? Get your...
And stupid decision of me, I wanted to see if my otters could take down some Magmasaurs. But this Carno did not like that idea and started to attack me. But I had my 19 otters to the rescue. Now that I have a little bit more metal, so I made this industrial grill so I can cook up some more food. And now it's time to make my way over to the Fenrir fight. And yet again, me fighting Fenrir did not work. Luckily, I filmed most of the fight, but the last part of it, it just didn't want to save. And later that night, I saw the moon turn. I killed a Charcharodontosaurus. I tamed a dung beetle, 2 of them to be precise, and I wanted to breed them so I can fight the next boss with them. But apparently, you cannot breed them since they don't have a gender, so that's great. And I was still pretty pissed off about that, so I went balls deep into the Fire Wyvern Trench. And I found an alpha raptor, and as soon as I was about to kill it, my ferox shrunk back to normal, dismounted me, and I died. Pretty ridiculous way of me dying, but luckily I still had my otter. But my ferox did not make it. I had to get my revenge, one way or another. that, I need a little bit of metal because I'm always low on metal. And for some reason, I was a little bit bored just grinding all day, so I made some platforms. Especially this big triangle. And not only was I low on metal, but I was also low on polymer. And one of the platforms that I made was this big rectangle, and I kind of wanted it to be a trophy room / storage room. And I had 2 slots open for 2 Alpha Rex trophies. So I spent the next few days running around looking for Alpha Rexes. But after a few days of searching, I found not only 1, but 2. I wanted to build a roof onto the storage / trophy area. And instead of just covering it with wood, I wanted a nice view of the mountain right next to my base. I set up some vaults, and what do you know? 2 Alpha Rex trophies. I knew I've killed more than 2 Alpha Rexes in the past, and I just could not find where the trophies went. But what do you know? I found them, and I did not have to go searching for 2 more Alpha Rexes. But what do you know? There's 2 more. And right next to me, a yellow drop just touched down, and it gave me a really good Ascendant crossbow. And not only that, it gave me a really good and even better chitin helmet blueprint. And I wanted to test my luck even further to see what kind of loot Hades and Skull would give me. But not too long later, they both fell, and I got an Ascendant mining drill. It wasn't really anything too crazy. It was only about 20% better than my old one, but that's still pretty good. And while I was just harvesting some simple resources, these raptors had some serious beef against me. And the only weapon that I really had on me was a chainsaw, but my hatchet or pickaxe would have done more damage, but I think it was pretty hilarious using a chainsaw to kill raptors. And I wanted to put my new Ascendant mining drill to use, so I built yet again another wall. But this time, it was blocking the water, so no creatures can just simply go around my wall into my base. Always low on gunpowder and bullets. I made some more gunpowder. I went back into the cave because one of the artifacts for the boss fight that I'm fighting is in this cave. I'm not the biggest fan of this cave, mainly because of the entrance, because if you fall in the lava, it will do about 200 damage to you if you just touch it once. So I was not risking anything. And what do you know? The artifact didn't spawn in. So I had to exit my game, load back in for it to spawn in, just to be greeted by 20,000 Onyx. Every single one of them was really high level. And once I did that, and there was still a few Onyx left, but once I killed them, I got out of the cave as soon as possible. And while going to the next artifact cave, a red drop touched down, and I got an even better fabricated shotgun. And a Rex was right next to me, and it was pretty scary.
Oh, that's a Rex! Get out of here as soon as possible.
Now that I grabbed the artifact of the hunter, I quickly got out of the cave. While I was on my way out, I grabbed a blue drop and it gave me a pretty good fur helmet, which I wouldn't really need, but I'm not gonna refuse it.
This is probably my last night here, because after this I'm fighting the boss.
And while watching the sun rise and then the northern lights, I knew this was gonna be one of my last days. All I had to do was get the last artifact in the labyrinth. Totally not watching yet another tutorial because I already forgot how to do it.
Click the green button. Then click the purple button. Click the yellow button. And finally the blue button.
I snatched up the artifact, watched the door close in front of me because there was a secret exit that I can take, which is faster. Now that I have all the artifacts, I was fighting the Broodmother. Because fighting the monkey is too easy, the dragon is way too hard, so right in the middle, the Broodmother would be perfect. I have all my otters ready. I leveled them up just a last bit. And last second, I noticed one of the otter's helmets was really low durability. So, I used the fur cap that I got and put it onto the otter. Now, I don't know about you, but that was the most intense and stressful boss fight ever. The 2 otters that I had left out were the only otters I had remaining. I've won, but at what cost? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate you. But don't forget to like and subscribe, but you don't have to do any of that. As long as you watch my videos, I thank you so much for that. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.